So this year, several people, when I was out and about teaching, asked me to define what spiritual awakening is in the context of the Buddha's path. One time was at Harvard Divinity School. We had this incredible conversation about grace and what that means. That's a very Christian word. But what does that mean in the context of the Buddha's path? And then when I went to an interfaith conference in Kentucky, someone asked me after I gave a talk how I would describe divinity, because Buddhism is a non-theistic understanding of things. So she asked me, is your idea of divinity has to do with the mind? And then somebody else asked me recently what was meant by wakefulness or awakening. So these are really interesting questions for all of us, and particularly if we're following a spiritual discipline, it's very important to not be vague about what this means. So, the question really is, that are asked, they all have this sense of, does it come from outside or is it solely from within? Mm-hmm. And I would say that in this tradition, it's not either one, or it actually has to do with the relationship between the two. And I won't say much about this now, but what's interesting about all of this is that this path, the middle way path that we're going to be entering into during the Shedra Primer, the sole purpose of that in many ways is to simply become clear on what it means to be awake.